1.1 What is management? Basically, the management involves the following activities: planning, deciding what is to be done, organizing, making arrangements, staffing, selecting the right people for the job, directing, giving instructions, monitoring, checking on progress, controlling, taking action to remedy holdups, innovating, coming up with new solutions, representing, liaising with users, etc. 1.2 What is project management? Project management is the art of maximizing the probability that a project delivers its goals on time, to budget, and at the required quality. The art of planning for the future has always been a human trait. In essence, a project can be captured on paper with a few simple elements: a start date, an end date, the tasks that have to be carried out, and when they should be finished, and some idea of the resources, people, machines, etc., that will be needed during the course of the project. Project management is the application of knowledge, skills, tools, and techniques to project activities to meet project requirements. Project management is accomplished through the use of the processes such as initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and closing. It is important to note that many of the processes within project management are iterative in nature. This is in part due to the existence of, and the necessity for, progressive elaboration in a project throughout the project life cycle, i.e., the more you know about your project, the better you are able to manage it. Project management is also defined as a strategic competency that has successfully been applied in such high-profile projects as the construction of Silk Route, organizing and managing the Olympics Games, and the construction of Islamabad-Lahore motorway, just to name a few. If project management can play a major role in these success stories, just imagine what it might be able to do for your own organization. The term project management is sometimes used to describe an organizational approach to the management of ongoing operations. This approach, more properly called management by projects, treats many aspects of ongoing operations as projects to apply project management techniques to them. Software project management, CS 615, 2 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan. Almost any human activity that involves carrying out a non-repetitive task can be a project. So we are all project managers. We all practice project management, PM. But there is a big difference between carrying out a very simple project involving 1 or 2 people, and one involving a complex mix of people, organizations, and tasks. 1.3 What is software project management? When the plan starts to involve different things happening at different times, some of which are dependent on each other, plus resources required at different times and in different quantities, and perhaps working at different rates, the paper plan could start to cover a vast area and be unreadable. Nevertheless, the idea that complex plans could be analyzed by a computer to allow someone to control a project is the basis of much of the development in technology that now allows projects of any size and complexity not only to be planned, but also modeled to answer what if questions. The original programs and computers tended to produce answers long after an event had taken place. Now, there are many project planning and scheduling programs that can provide real-time information, as well as linking to risk analysis, time recording, and costing, estimating, and other aspects of project control. But computer programs are not project management, they are tools for project managers to use. Project management is all that mix of components of control, leadership, teamwork, resource management, etc. that goes into a successful project. Project managers can be found in all industries. Their numbers have grown rapidly as industry and commerce has realized that much of what it does is project work. And as project-based organizations have started to emerge, project management is becoming established as both a professional career path and a way of controlling business. So opportunities in project management now exist not only in being a project manager, but also as part of the support team in a project or program office, or as a team leader for part of a project. There are also qualifications that can be attained through the professional associations. Software Project Management, CS 615. 3. Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan 1.4. What is a project? A project is an activity with specific goals, which takes place over a finite period of time. A temporary organization that is needed to produce a unique and predefined outcome or result at a pre-specified time using predetermined resources. Projects are often implemented as a means of achieving an organization's strategic plan. Operations and projects differ primarily in that operations are ongoing and repetitive, while projects are temporary and unique. A project can thus be defined in terms of its distinctive characteristics. A project is a temporary endeavor undertaken to create a unique product or service. Temporary means that every project has a definite beginning and a definite end. Unique means that the product or service is different in some distinguishing way from all other products or services. For many organizations, projects are a means to respond to those requests that cannot be addressed within the organization's normal operational limits. Projects are undertaken at all levels of the organization. They may involve a single person or many thousands. Their duration ranges from a few weeks to more than 5 years. Projects may involve a single unit of one organization, or may cross organizational boundaries, as in joint ventures and partnering. Examples of projects include developing a new product or service, affecting a change in structure, staffing, or style of an organization, designing a new transportation vehicle, developing or acquiring a new or modified information system, constructing a building or facility, building a water system for a community in a developing country, running a campaign for political office, implementing a new business procedure or process. 1. Temporary means that every project has a definite beginning and a definite end. The end is reached when the project's objectives have been achieved, or it becomes clear that the project objectives will not or cannot be met, or the need for the project no longer exists, and the project is terminated. Temporary does not necessarily mean short in duration. Many projects last for several years. In every case, however, the duration of a project is finite. Projects are not ongoing efforts. 2. Unique product, service, or result projects involve creating something that has not been done in exactly the same way before, and which is, therefore, unique and distinct. Projects create. Software Project Management, CS 615. For copyright Virtual University of Pakistan, a product or artifact that is produced, is quantifiable, and can be either an end item in itself, or a component item, a capability to perform a service, such as business functions supporting production or distribution, a result, such as new knowledge. For example, a research and development project develops knowledge that can be used to determine whether or not a trend is present, or a new process will benefit society. The presence of repetitive elements does not change the fundamental uniqueness of the project work. For example, a project to develop a new commercial airliner may require multiple prototypes. A project to bring a new drug to market may require thousands of doses of the drug to support clinical trials. A real estate development project may include hundreds of individual units. A development project, example, water and sanitation, may be implemented in 5 geographic areas. 3. Aims/tasks/purpose. The projects are designed to achieve specific targets defined in terms of aims, tasks, or a purpose. The nature and size of the project depends upon complexity of the task, realization of the aims, and scope of the purpose any organization wants to achieve. In short, project has to be aimed for achieving certain tasks in a given time frame. 4. Limited time scale. The projects are always designed considering time constraints. Extension to the project completion deadlines are always discouraged as time overrun, costs extra, and in some cases opportunity cost for not completing a project is too high. Progressive Elaboration. Progressive elaboration is a characteristic of projects that accompanies the concepts of temporary and unique. Progressively means developing thoroughly in steps, and continuing steadily by increments, while elaborated means worked out with care and detail, developed thoroughly. For example, the project scope will be broadly described early in the project, and made more explicit and detailed as the project team develops a better and more complete understanding of the objectives and deliverables. Progressive elaboration of project specifications must be carefully coordinated with proper project scope definition, particularly if the project is performed under contract. When properly defined, the scope of the project, the work to be done, software project management, CS 615, 5 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan, should be controlled as the project and product specifications are progressively elaborated. The following examples illustrate progressive elaboration in two different application areas. 9. Example 1. Development of a chemical processing plant begins with process engineering to define the characteristics of the process. These characteristics are used to design the major processing units. This information becomes the basis for engineering design, which defines both the detailed plant layout and the mechanical characteristics of the process units and ancillary facilities. All of this results in design drawings that are elaborated to produce fabrication and construction drawings. During construction, interpretations and adaptations are made as needed and subject to proper approval. This further elaboration of the deliverables is captured in as-built drawings, and final operating adjustments are made during testing and turnover. 9. Example 2. The product of an economic development project may initially be defined as improve the quality of life of the lowest income residents of Community X. As the project proceeds, the products may be described more specifically as, for example, provide access to food and water to 500 low-income residents in Community X. The next round of progressive elaboration might focus exclusively on increasing agriculture production and marketing, with provision of water deemed to be a secondary priority to be initiated once the agricultural component is well underway. Software project management, CS 615, 6 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan Lecture Number 2-1. Introduction and Fundamentals 1.5 Goals of Project Management. Project management is the discipline of defining and achieving a set of goals while optimizing the use of allocated resources, time, money, people, space, etc. This includes planning, scheduling, and maintaining progress of the activities that comprise the project. Project management is normally reserved for focused, non-repetitive, time-limited activities with some degree of risk, and that are beyond the usual scope of program, operational, activities for which the organization is responsible. Project management software describes the tools to efficiently coordinate and automate the various project management component processes. Project management software generally offers extensive reporting features, such as day-to-day status updates of project progress, scheduling and dependency trees, and system-generated alerts when schedules slip beyond preset tolerances. Most project management tools include web-accessible interfaces so that employees can access features of the software relevant to their needs and functionality to allow managers to share resource pools without overbooking. 1.6 Project Characteristics 1. Temporary means that every project has a definite beginning and a definite end. The end is reached when the project's objectives have been achieved, or it becomes clear that the project objectives will not or cannot be met, or the need for the project no longer exists, and the project is terminated. Temporary does not necessarily mean short in duration. Many projects last for several years. In every case, however, the duration of a project is finite. Projects are not ongoing efforts. 2. Unique, product, service, or result projects involve creating something that has not been done in exactly the same way before, and which is, therefore, unique and distinct. Projects create a product or artifact that is produced, is quantifiable, and can be either an end item in itself, or a component item a capability to perform a service, such as business functions supporting production or distribution software project management. CS 615. 7. Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan a result, such as new knowledge. For example, a research and development project develops knowledge that can be used to determine whether or not a trend is present, or a new process will benefit society. The presence of repetitive elements does not change the fundamental uniqueness of the project work. For example, a project to develop a new commercial airliner may require multiple prototypes. A project to bring a new drug to market may require thousands of doses of the drug to support clinical trials. A real estate development project may include hundreds of individual units. A development project, example, water and sanitation, may be implemented in 5 geographic areas. 5. Aims/tasks/purpose. The projects are designed to achieve specific targets defined in terms of aims, tasks, or a purpose. The nature and size of the project depends upon complexity of the task, realization of the aims, and scope of the purpose any organization wants to achieve. In short, project has to be aimed for achieving certain tasks in a given time frame. 6. Limited time scale. The projects are always designed considering time constraints. Extension to the project completion deadlines are always discouraged as time overrun, costs extra, and in some cases opportunity cost for not completing a project is too high. 1.74 Project dimensions. Software project management is an umbrella activity within software engineering. It begins before any technical activity is initiated and continues throughout the definition, development, and support of computer software. 4 Ps have a substantial influence on software project management: people, product, process, and project. People must be organized into effective teams, motivated to do high-quality software work, and coordinated to achieve effective communication. The product requirements must be communicated from customer to developer, partitioned, decomposed, into their constituent parts, and positioned for work by the software team. The process must be adapted to the people and the problem. A common process framework is selected, an appropriate software engineering paradigm is applied, and a set of work tasks is chosen to get the job done. Software project management, CS 615. 8. Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan. The project must be organized in a manner that enables the software team to succeed. Effective software project management focuses on the 4 Ps: people, product, process, and project. The order is not arbitrary. The manager who forgets that software engineering work is an intensely human endeavor will never have success in project management. A manager who fails to encourage comprehensive customer communication early in the evolution of a project risks building an elegant solution for the wrong problem. The manager who pays little attention to the process runs the risk of inserting competent technical methods and tools into a vacuum. The manager who embarks without a solid project plan jeopardizes the success of the product. People. In a study published by the IEEE, the engineering vice presidents of 3 major technology companies were asked the most important contributor to a successful software project. They answered in the following way: VP1, I guess if you had to pick one thing out that is most important in our environment, I'd say it's not the tools that we use, it's the people. VP2, the most important ingredient that was successful on this project was having smart people. Very little else matters in my opinion. The most important thing you do for a project is selecting the staff. The success of the software development organization is very, very much associated with the ability to recruit good people. VP3, the only role I have in management is to ensure I have good people, real good people, and that I grow good people, and that I provide an environment in which good people can produce. Indeed, this is a compelling testimonial on the importance of people in the software engineering process. And yet, all of us, from senior engineering vice presidents to the lowliest practitioner, often take people for granted. Managers argue, as the preceding group had, that people are primary, but their actions sometimes belie their words. In this section we examine the players who participate in the software process, and the manner in which they are organized to perform effective software engineering. 1. The players, the software process, and every software project is populated by players who can be categorized into one of 5 constituencies. 1. Senior managers who define the business issues that often have significant influence on the project. Software project management, CS 615, 9 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan 2. Project, technical, managers who must plan, motivate, organize, and control the practitioners who do software work. 3. Practitioners who deliver the technical skills that are necessary to engineer a product or application. 4. Customers who specify the requirements for the software to be engineered, and other stakeholders who have a peripheral interest in the outcome. 2. End users who interact with the software once it is released for production use. Every software project is populated by people who fall within this taxonomy. To be effective, the project team must be organized in a way that maximizes each person's skills and abilities. And that's the job of the team leader. 3. Team leaders' project management is a people-intensive activity, and for this reason, competent practitioners often make poor team leaders. They simply don't have the right mix of people skills. And yet, as Edgman states, unfortunately, and all too frequently it seems, individuals just fall into a project manager role and become accidental project managers. EDG 95. The cultivation of motivated, highly skilled software people has been discussed since the 1960s. Example, Kubo, WIT 94, DEM 9B. In fact, the people factor is so important that the Software Engineering Institute has developed a People Management Capability Maturity Model, PMCMM, to enhance the readiness of software organizations to undertake increasingly complex applications by helping to attract, grow, motivate, deploy, and retain the talent needed to improve their software development capability, CUR 94. The People Management Maturity Model defines the following key practice areas for software people: recruiting, selection, performance management, training, compensation, career development, organization, and work design, and team/culture development. Organizations that achieve high levels of maturity in the people management area have a higher likelihood of implementing effective software engineering practices. The PMCMM is a companion to the Software Capability Maturity Model that guides organizations in the creation of a mature software process. The Process Software Project Management, CS 615, 10 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan, in a fascinating book that provides an economist's view of software and software engineering, Howard Betger Jr. comments on the software process. Software development is a social learning process. The process is a dialogue in which the knowledge that must become the software is brought together and embodied in the software. The process provides interaction between users and designers, between users and evolving tools, and between designers and evolving tools, technology. It is an iterative process in which the evolving tool itself serves as the medium for communication, with each new round of the dialogue eliciting more useful knowledge from the people involved. When you build a product or system, it's important to go through a series of predictable steps, a roadmap that helps you create a timely, high-quality result. The roadmap that you follow is called a software process. Software engineers and their managers adapt the process to their needs and then follow it. In addition, the people who have ties defined by the process requested the software play a role in the software process. At a detailed level, the process that you adopt depends on the software you're building. One process might be appropriate for creating software for an aircraft avionics system, while an entirely different process would be indicated for the creation of a website. From the point of view of a software engineer, the work products are the programs, documents, and data produces as a consequence of the software engineering activities defined by the process. A software process provides the framework from which a comprehensive plan for software development can be established. A small number of framework activities are applicable to all software projects, regardless of their size or complexity. A number of different task sets, tasks, milestones, work products, and quality assurance points enable the framework activities to be adapted to the characteristics of the software project and the requirements of the project team. Finally, umbrella activities, such as software quality assurance, software configuration management, and measurement, overlay the process model. Umbrella activities are independent of any one framework activity and occur throughout the process. Software Project Management, CS 615, 11 Copyright Virtual University of Pakistan Lecture Number 31. Introduction and Fundamentals 1.8 Project Dimensions Product and Technology. The 80:20 rule was originated by Vilfredo Pareto, an Italian economist who studies the distribution of wealth in a variety of countries around 1900. He discovered a common phenomenon. About 80% of the wealth in most countries was controlled by a consistent minority, about 20% of the people. Pareto called this a predictable imbalance. His observation eventually became known as either the 80:20 rule or Pareto's principle. The credit for adapting Pareto's economic observations to business goes to the father of total quality management, service quality consultant Joseph M. Uran. In 1950, he published the Quality Control Handbook, which first recognized the applicability of the Pareto principle in the context of inventory management, e.g., 20% of the repair parts normally account for 80% of the total inventory. 80% of production volume usually comes from 20% of the producers. He subsequently recognized that this rule of thumb was universally applicable across fields of endeavor. As a credit to Pareto's work, Uran named his finding the Pareto principle. This universal management theory became generalized as the 80-20 rule. The 80:20 rule has become one of the best-known leadership shorthand terms reflecting the notion that most of the results of a life, of a program, of a financial campaign, come from a minority of effort, or people, or input,